Okay. Okay, well, we'll just wait for Chuck to come back in. Oh, well, no, he's still in the room. He just turned off his video. Hey, everybody, we have been on break on hiatus for way too long. I'm really excited tonight. I'm really excited to talk about who you're interested in studying with, and I really want to know why. And would really like to hear what everyone has to say. We have quite a few people that have signed up for this. And hey, Gail, got your images too, Gail, and beautiful, beautiful, lovely paintings, by the way.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yay! How did you do that?
I went back to settings and I went to privacy and microphone, and there was a tab for Zoom.
Oh, there you go. Okay, good. So next time I'll help you remember that one.
Did Kathleen sign on yet?
I don't see her yet.
She should be here shortly.
How's Miss Sadie doing?
Miss Sadie survived the trip well. She doesn't like the stones as much as the soft grass.
Gee, I can't blame her. Can't blame her at all. Yes, it's hard on us old girls.
Yes, and she is, what is she? About 95 or pushing 100 in doggy years.
Man, oh man alive. Man, oh man alive. So I know that you guys have been studying with Kathy Anderson this week.
We finished a 4-day workshop this afternoon. So we're kind of
celebrating. Woohoo!
Yeah, but it's, from this end of the valley to over there in rush hour traffic both ways is a little stressful.
Yeah. That's intense. That's really intense. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But
and
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, Kathy is not only brilliant, but she is a lot of fun.
She's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. She is brilliant too. So, I'd love to hear why you guys would like for Kathleen to get on when she has a moment. Love to hear about what you guys did and what you learned and why it is that you chose Kathy. It's hands down a foregone conclusion. She's brilliant.
She's brilliant, and this is our second workshop with Kathy.
You guys were with her in the summer, right?
We went to Putney in the summer, which is an experience all by itself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I learned why I don't paint florals on a regular basis.
Oh,
it's really hard.
They are hard. They're so delicate and transparent.
Give me water, give me boats, give me all that stuff. Give me mountains, give me the western scenes. But flowers are really tough.
Those are tough. Those are really tough. I get it. And so delicate, and if your value's off, it takes it from a flower to
your drawing has to be right, because if it doesn't, otherwise it looks like a blob. It doesn't look like the flower you're trying to paint.
Yeah.
And so between the drawing skills and the values and trying to get the right color so it really looks like a yellow rose rather than it takes a lot,
isn't it? Humbling. But you have got great, there's Kathleen. You've got great drawing skills. So I'm promoting you, Kathleen. I'm not even asking. Let's see, I got to unmute you, but you're going to have, there you are. Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm exhausted.
That's what Chuck was just saying.
Talking about the workshop.
And you know, it's so funny because I picked this topic before talking to you, before knowing that you guys had been with Kathy all week.
Yeah, it was, and it, we just got here too, so I'm like reeling right now. We're waiting for tomorrow when we can have at least a day of rest for a change, and I don't think it's gonna be, but we're hoping.
So what are you doing over the weekend?
Catching up. Hopefully painting, trying to do some catch up on some things, but it would be nice to finally get into the studio and get ourselves set and ready to really get to work.
Absolutely. You're going to love some of the art that we've got tonight. It's right up your wheelhouse.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, you're going to love, I'm telling you.
Cool.
Gail knows what I'm talking about. It's right up your wheelhouse. It's awesome. So, so the subject tonight, I'd like to start with is who you want to study with and why you chose them. I know why you chose Kathy. She's absolutely brilliant. We're talking about Kathy Anderson, one of the Putney painters, and she is just incredibly brilliant. And if you don't know who it is that we're talking about, you must have been asleep for a very long time.
I can't say for sure, but I think her website is kathyandersonstudio.com. It's with a Anderson with an S-E-N, I think.
Let me see here.
She's one of the Putney painters, and she paints with Richard Schmid and all those wonderful people.
It's an S-O-N. I should know, I've spelt it enough times. And it's Kathy Anderson Studio, and it's Anderson.
Okay.
And she is a floral painter primarily. She does do plein air as well, but she is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yes. So why did you guys choose her? Because florals aren't usually something that I associate with you doing, Kathleen or Chuck.
Yeah, no, I really wanted to study with her because, as you know, I like to do portraits and figurative works, and I've been struggling with my my touch, my edges and everything. And I just love the edges that she achieves, the coloring and the edges in her florals. And I was hopeful, and I do believe that it has helped to study with her, that what she does and what you helped us through also when I worked with you was that how to just use a really nice soft brush and a light touch in the areas that need it most. Mm-hmm. And so it was interesting. It was interesting.
Yeah, and she's so much fun. I mean, she has
so much energy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's brilliant, and she's just like a little firefly, just lighting all over the place.
Yes.
So for everyone in the room, they have been at Scottsdale Artist School this week. They are in the Phoenix Valley. They're Kathleen and Chuck. Have you guessed I know them just a little bit? But they're on the other side of the valley. And
we're snowbirds. We live in Michigan most of the time. And
most of the time, but when they're in Arizona, they're on the other side of the valley, which is really still quite a trek to get to the Scottsdale Artist.
It's probably an hour, and we were fortunate to be able to take the HOV lane, which is the commuter lane, the one lane that allows people with two or more. What was that?
The high occupancy lane.
Oh yeah. Well, if you have two or more in your vehicle, you can speed past all the people that are sitting in traffic, which is a little frightening when you're, going 60 miles an hour and everybody's at a standstill otherwise. But it was nice.
Oh, good. So why did you choose Kathy?
Well, that was my reason. I was hopeful that learning to paint the delicate nature of the flowers that she does would translate to my portraits and give me a more delicate touch and a more sensitive touch in what I do.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. And how about you, Chuck?
Well, you know, I'm very heavy-handed with my brushwork, and for the same reason, that lighter touch, and I can use it. I can use it in my sails. I can use it on the hulls of my sailboats. There are, you know, we were talking before Kathleen joined us about how hard, you know, in my mind, how hard it is to do florals, but those edges and that soft touch, that's what I'm really trying to achieve, and there are a lot of, if you can paint florals well, you can really do almost anything.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're looking for somebody who's brilliant, you know, Kathy is it. Did you guys go to the demo? I saw that there was a demo the other night.
There was. We were signed up to do it, and we, at the last minute, had to travel with our dog. And doggies don't like to be left for 12 and 14 hours at a stretch. So we were gone long enough during the days that we were there at the workshop. We had to scoot back and take care of her. So we couldn't stay for the demo. But she demoed in class every day. So
yeah.
I didn't feel like I missed much, other than the fact that Daniel Keys was the other. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big miss. He's absolutely brilliant. So Gail, Linda, Cindy, I see Dean ditched us, but who are you guys looking to study with, and or who have you studied with, and why? And if you would love to talk with us, we would love to talk with you. You can just raise your hand, and I will bring you over to our side. You need to into the light.
Our side.
Yeah. I have to give you a little preview. Because we're in a summit in the Master Secrets, and just yesterday, and it won't be out until probably the end of March, maybe the 1st of April. I went and interviewed Calvin Liang.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. I mean, just absolutely brilliant. Got to go into his studio.
Wow.
And he is just, well, you know, he won the Russell a few years ago. He's been on the cover of Art of the West. You know, he has a animator background. You know, he worked for Disney, on The Lion King. That was one of his first jobs here in the U.S. Anyway, I'm spilling the beans. I'm not going to tell you all his whole story, because I want him to tell the story. Is just absolutely brilliant. So you guys have something to really look forward to.
That sounds
Very cool.
good.
Pardon me?
That sounds really good.
Oh, he is absolutely brilliant. So if you don't know who Calvin Liang is he is a painter who is originally from China and has been in the U.S. since the late 80s. And his last name is spelled Liang. And look him up. Look up his art. He is brilliant, and such an amazing story he has to share with us. So I don't want to give it all away.
Oh, I'm so excited to see that one now.
Oh my gosh. So we've got some incredible interviews. I have gotten to go into the studio of a couple different artists, and you know, the quality of the video, the audio is just so much better. And I'm just thinking, I want to do a studio tour of, you know, all of these artists, go into their studio, because it makes such a difference in what I'm able to bring. Skype technology is great. Now, I love technology. You all know that. But, you know, sometimes Skype is not the nicest to me, you know. There's one artist that we have coming up, Joe Paquette.
Oh, cool.
Joe is from Minnesota. and he is absolutely brilliant. But we did the interview with over the phone, and the audio was just, it was awful, awful, awful. I had to get back with him and tell him we've got to redo the interview because it's that bad. I mean, it's just that bad.
Wow.
So I was very disappointed with that particular outcome, because it was the one that was supposed to, sorry about that, I'm spitting everywhere. It was the one, I guess it's trying to stop me from spilling all the beans. But anyway, you have that one to look forward to in the future. And so we've got some really awesome people lined up, really great stories, amazing stories. You know, that's what it is I'm after. I love the stories, you know.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, we also have Deborah Hughes coming up.
Oh, wonderful.
I know she's a California painter, and we got to go into her studio, so that was like awesome. And she's a big boat painter, so you're going to love that, Chuck. And she is got to go on to her boat, so that was like, ooh, awesome, we're scoring big here, you know. So
what's fun.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a great summit, and we just got started, just got underway just before Christmas. So there's we've got a ways to go. We got a lot of artists lined up, and not spilling the beans on everybody, but
It's exciting.
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
So you guys probably haven't got to see the one that was posted this week yet. You guys have.
Sorry. Yeah, we've been just like we get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, we have bite to eat, take care of the dog, hit the road, drive over there, do the workshop, come back, 6 o'clock at night. We're trying to find a bite to eat, take care of the dog, do this, do that. You know, by 8 o'clock, I'm ready for bed.
Yeah. Do you guys, Linda, Gail, Cindy, do you guys experience that too when you are in a workshop, that you have that tremendous information fatigue? That's what I think of it as, is because
exactly.
There's so much that you're taking in that it's
so much to absorb. And if I were just sitting there all day watching her, I take a lot of notes and we ask questions and everything, but the actual physical act of working on a painting while you're in the workshop and have her come over and critique it and tell you what she's seeing was really interesting. And it's mentally exhausting. It take in so much information and try to process it and retain it.
Yeah. Well, I think that we'll take a look at what, Chuck, you were going to say something.
I've got another workshop coming up now in a week and a half. John Poon for 5 days.
Oh, Kathryn, you've been talking about John Poon for so long.
John is just like the best, the absolute best. He is an incredible landscape painter, and he works primarily in acrylic. Because, part of his story is that he was an oil painter originally and developed some allergies, some sensitivities to just about everything. And he and his wife both had developed these sensitivities and had to go through a lot in order to find gone to a lot to find a treatment that was effective for him. What's it called that he did, Kathleen?
I think it was NAET is the acronym for it, and it's very interesting. I actually got a book on it as a result of you talking about it in the past, and hope to get some more information from him on who he went to, because as you know, I've got a few health issues too. And I think it would be interesting to experience that. I'm seeing medical doctors and they're helping, but what I'm dealing with, there's no quick fix. You can't just take a pill and say, oh, okay, you're better.
Yeah.
So, and I think that was the same with him, with allergies and asthma and things like that. Those are all things that you either learn to live with or, you treat, but it doesn't always get better. And it sounds to me like he got better.
Yes, he did. Gail says that she hasn't ever gone to a workshop, and I've got a couple of her paintings here for us to look at. I'm just saying, I'm surprised. Do you study with someone online, Gail? Because your work is really, it's very, very nice. I know Kathleen will really like it. It's in your wheelhouse, but I'm not telling you what till we.
Oh, I want to see it now.
Yeah, I know you want to see it. But we're gonna take a look over here at Linda's. I was going to put up Estelle's, but Estelle isn't here. And
while you're doing that, I just want to say in response to Gail, this was actually our first workshop at the Scottsdale Art School. So it was quite an experience to be able to take a workshop there and really enlightening and a little intimidating because it was Putney Painters Week and Michelle Dunaway was there and Danielle Keyes was there and Kathy was there. And of course, Rosemary and her brushes were there. Simi wasn't there this time, but it was just really cool to have that kind of close interaction with the really top-notch artists.
Absolutely, absolutely. So okay, I'm gonna go over here and we're gonna look at.
Oh, that's cool, Gail. I see that you are getting ready to go to Mark Carter in March. Is he the one that developed that Carter method that I remember hearing about? Yes. Oh, cool. How exciting for you. Oh, very cool.
Let's see here. Okay, we're going to take a look here at Linda's first. I'm going to share my screen. And I hope that I've blown everything up big enough that everyone can see it. Can you see what I'm seeing?
I'm seeing a white line.
Me too.
You're seeing a white line? Oh, well, I must have to bring it over here. How about now?
Oh. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is Linda Reynolds. Okay. And I love this. I love the design. I love the composition. It's really a beautiful piece. I love that. She's in Tampa, Florida too, by the way. I would like to know very much if you painted this in plein air or if you painted it from a photograph. I would like to know that. Let's see. Here we go. She painted it from a photo. That's exquisite. Do you paint in plein air, Linda? She paints in plein air a little. Because I have to say that the depth, that a lot of the relationships that you have, you've got some beautiful lost edges right over here on the right hand side where the palm fronds and the trunk of the palm tree are just intertwined, and I really love that. But I have to say there's a little bit that's confusing to me, because this right here, this palm frond on the left, seems to be your center of interest. Is that intentional, I have to ask? And it would be so wonderful if you would jump onto this side with us so that we could talk to you.
Yeah, I don't see it as the center of interest. I personally see it. I assume that's a coconut that's up there. It's the fruit that's in the round fruit that's up there. And because I'm a Midwestern girl and I don't see these things very often, I think it is just fabulous. Is this watercolor?
Oh, it looks like oil to me, but I'm not sure.
It's
Oil.
just,
Yeah,
it's
it's oil.
just beautifully done. I mean, it looks to me almost like a watercolor because it's just so beautifully rendered.
She's done a fabulous job. I'm getting really picky.
Well, and I see why you would say that, Kathryn, because the light is hitting it so brightly there.
Right there. And the
Yeah.
definition, one of the definitions of the center of interest is the lightest light next to the darkest dark. And that's this area right here. However, my eye wants this to be the center of interest.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what my eye or my intellect wants to be the center of interest. However,
that's what my eye first went to was.
Well, and I think that it has to do with the shape of it, because everything is so linear, and then you've got this roundness right here, you know, that is just really, it's beautiful. And that's what it is that my eye went to first, but then I'm starting to squint down on it. And when I'm squinting down on it, I'm going, oh, well, this must be what it is that she wants us to really pay attention to. But the artist in me wants this to be the center of interest.
Well, and you know what I see there too is that the palm fronds almost point to that. The light on the palm fronds are like an arrow pointing at that thing, that coconut. And I think that's so cool. I don't know if you intentionally did that or not, but it really works. It's really cool.
It is a beautiful painting. I am just getting really picky and asking you the questions, because there's no right, there's no wrong. She wants to know if she should diminish the contrast on the palm frond. Only if that is not where you want the eye to focus. If you were to diminish some of the intensity of the value here on the left-hand side of the palm frond and let it be more intense down on the right of this palm frond that's got all the light, and if you were to bump up just a little tiny bit of light on this coconut, which means that you're going to have to play with these little fronds that are folding over, it's a good opportunity for some lost edges with color value. You know, like, I don't know, maybe a cad red light mixed with a cad yellow-ish, maybe, and some white in there. I mean, it can't be too intense. Maybe more like this color that you have here in your palm fronds, this orangey red kind of color, but a little bit brighter. If you just put a spit of that color on this coconut, boy, it would make this lead in really point to that coconut. That is only if your intention is to have the coconut be the center of interest.
Linda, you did I think you did a really wonderful job with this, especially the shadows. You didn't fall into the trap that most of us do with working from a photograph, with these dark spaces for the shadows. You have some variation in the shadows. Excellent job with that. But I would agree with Kathryn on the highlights on the coconut and reducing the brightness on the fronds a little bit. I think if that wasn't your intent to have that as the focal point. But excellent job.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you as the artist get to decide what is the center of interest, and you get to decide how you're going to draw the eye of the viewer into your painting. So if your intention is to have that frond be the center of interest, then you have hit it right on. That nail has been pounded into that board. But if you were wanting to bring more attention to that coconut, then bringing a little bit more light and maybe just a little bit more chroma. And I'm not talking a lot. I mean, I'm talking a stroke possibly on that coconut. That will make all the difference in the world, to bring the attention to the coconut. So, but if your intent is to have that frond be the center of interest, then you hit it. You hit it. So thank you so much for sharing this, because when I opened this up, it took my breath away. It was so beautiful. And I thought, oh my gosh, what a beautiful honor to have this painting submitted for a critique. So thank you so much. I really—
It's a great composition too.
It is. I love the design of it. Is just awesome. You did a really great job. Love the sky. The way that you rendered it was just spot on, because as we go from the zenith down to the horizon, it gets warmer and lighter, and you nailed that, and you did it in such a way that really adds to the painting. You did a really great job here, Linda. So good job. Oh, wait. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, beautiful.
So
Hearing that.
oh, big smile. Well, I will be really happy when the day comes that everyone says, let's just get on and talk. I mean, I love it when we have these really open discussions and everybody is just comes on over and is ready to be seen and to talk, because we're talking about our favorite subject, right? We're talking about art. So we're now going to go over to Gail. And Gail, is it Hooper? How do I say it? Hooper? I think it's Hooper. You're going to love these, Kathleen. I want to see, I know which one I want first, but this, can you see these?
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
So,
Gorgeous.
I know. I really, honest to goodness, this is just fabulous, Gail. I love the expression that you have captured in these dogs. The fur is like totally awesome. You've done a really nice job on these. The expression that you have on those dogs is like awesome. So if you don't mind, I'm going to get a little picky with you. Is that okay, Gail? Are you there, Gail? Can we talk? If you would be interested in coming on over to our side so that we can all talk together, that would be awesome. But if you could let me know that you're in the room, that Gail is in the house. Oh, Gail. Oh, look at you guys. She's ready. Gail, I am that is like so smoking.
Yay.
Oh. Hey, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Yes. It's
Hi.
dark.
Oh, it's nice to meet you.
You need some light. You need to come to the light side, Gail.
I can't see you.
I can see you. We're over here on the side.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, but we can only see like little tiny. You need a light on.
Oh, okay.
Need a light on in front of you. Is that a possibility?
All right, hang on.
Okay, we'll wait for you, because this is beautiful.
Yes. I love his little eyebrow on the
I love that.
bigger dog.
Good girl. We'll be able to see her now.
Yeah, awesome. Here you are. Hi.
You get to get my dog too.
Aw, hi,
Oh, I
Aw,
love your doggy.
Sadie. There's a doggy here.
No, what's your doggy's name?
This is Gemma.
Gemma. Hello, Gemma. Welcome to the room, little girl. Hello.
Oh, sweet.
I love doggies. I know. Get Sadie up there. Sadie's bigger.
She's
She's not
a
going to be
12-and-a-half-year-old chocolate lab. And
Oh, that's beautiful.
seen better days. She's been sitting at my feet, but she just went around to the other side of the table. I'm not going to try to drag her up here. She's sound asleep. You might hear her snoring in a little bit.
So, Gail, tell us about how long you've been painting. Is this what you do? Is pets? Is this your wheelhouse?
Well, I started sculpting, and since I travel so much showing horses, the painting was easier to take back and forth. So that's why I started to paint. And this is a commission that a friend of mine, she actually was wanting the older dog, which is the big dog. His name is Churchill.
Oh.
And he was getting up in age, and so she was wanting him painted. And then the little dog died unexpectedly right before Christmas.
Oh.
So she asked me to do the little dog, and she sent me several pictures, and this was one that they were both together. So I picked this one. And it's a little prettier in person. You know how that is with the paintings, but
Absolutely.
the colors are a little nicer. But it's 18 by 24. It's a
good size. Yeah, that's a good size.
So it was fun to do. So I felt like I knew him after I was done
I bet.
painting him. Yeah, I love to do that.
Awesome. Eyes are so important when you paint pets, and they are just beautiful.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I loved, and I start with the eye.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I do is the eye. So that's.
So are you more of a direct painter? When you're done with the session, it can feel like that painting is complete?
Well,
you work from
I think it is until I take a photograph and then I start looking at it, and then I'm.
Well, it doesn't mean, just because you're a direct painter doesn't mean that it's finished when you're done for the day, but someone can look at it and say, oh my gosh, you start with the eyes and then work out from there, and so that at the end of the day, whatever it is that you're working on is a whole, whereas an indirect painter is someone who's working on the background and working over here in the light and working over here in the midtones and then coming back over here into the dark and, working the whole painting rather than from one area out.
Well, I start from the eye and then I kind of go out and then I do what you say the indirect is. And then I skip around, I do the background to try and to connect things.
Here, Sadie.
I don't know. It's when I smile at it and I laugh at it and it's talking to me, then I know I'm kind of like on the right track.
Absolutely.
I love that when it smiles back.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Or it winks at me.
Yeah, yeah. You've got a couple of friends going here, and you've done a really nice job. So that said, I'm just going to share a couple of things, and you can take it with a grain of salt, okay?
Yeah, please do.
So this area right down here with the fur, where it meets the dark, meets the light, those edges could be just a little bit softer, only because it is so dark and intense. And even though it's not the lightest part of Churchill, it's still very light and it has a tendency to draw the eye. So just softening those edges right there might be like this right here. This is just so nice and soft. If that was just a little bit softer, and I know you're turning the form as well right in this area. But if you allow your values to be a little bit more interpretive as far as the turn of the form goes, I think that it won't draw the eye quite so strongly to this area, as well as who's this little guy? What's his name?
I don't know I can't remember the little dog's name.
Um,
Churchill just sticks in my brain for the big dog.
He does mine too. This one's a little long-haired Chihuahua. He is just so cute. He is a Chihuahua, is that right?
Well, no, he's a mini Australian Shepherd.
Is he really? Oh, wow.
Like 5 pounds.
Like, I didn't know that they made them like that.
Yeah, they have little mini Australians.
I never heard of that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love even more. You've done such a great job. I really would like very much to really give you all the kudos and credit for the way that you handled the darks, because painting a black dog is really a challenge, but you handled the values so well that it reads just beautiful. So good job on that. 2 thumbs up on that one. So, but just this softening of this edge right here where his paw goes against the neck, those are really the only things that I see that I'm going, I'd like it to be just a little bit softer. But I'm done. So I'm done. I'm done. I'm just admiring now. So Kathleen, Chuck, you got something? You go for it.
I have nothing to add.
No, I think it's beautiful. I'd love to see just a little more pink in his nose, in the larger dog's nose, and maybe it's there in the original painting, and you know, how sometimes photographs of paintings don't always show everything. I think it would just pull him forward just a little bit more. It's very tonal, which is beautiful, and it's beautifully rendered that way. So that's just my only thought, is that, you know, just a tiny touch, not the whole nose, just a little tiny touch of something to bring him forward and enliven him a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I love him. I mean, he is just like spot on.
Yeah, they both are. They're beautiful. They're just beautiful.
Well, thank you. He has the older dog has a little glaucoma, so his eyes are a little cloudy.
Wonky.
Yeah, you did that so well.
You did it really, really well. No, their eyes are just, both of them, especially the far eye on this little guy. He did a really great job of setting it back, but still having that glint that draws us to that eye and really carries through his expression.
Yes.
Good. I have to have a drink.
No, it's beautiful.
You did a really nice job in there with that, the edge in here around the dark, the black dog's head. The heads in there just, I mean, they just disappear into the background. It's really nice, nicely done.
And I love the background too, by the way. It's a very rich, very dark background. You've done, Gail, you've done a beautiful job on this, really. And I knew Kathleen would love this because she does a lot of pets as well. So this is in her wheelhouse. So
Yes, I love painting pets. They're so precious.
And it's hard for me to, I mean, all of the backgrounds on most of the animals that I get to do are not dark. And so to put the dark background behind them, I was going to ask you all if that is, you know, looks good.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
old master. Yeah.
And this painting especially, I think it's just beautiful. It goes really well with it.
It does. And it's perfect. No, that's an old master background. That's just perfect.
Did you ever see a light background from Rembrandt?
Hey.
That is definitely it. And maybe, as I'm getting a little bit pickier, sitting here looking at it, this area maybe right here on on Churchill. I knew it was some famous guy. Here on Churchill, this might be too light, and what it is that Kathleen is talking about, because it argues here with his nose. And if you had just that little splash of intense warmth to draw his nose forward, it wouldn't be arguing with this area of his forehead. However, that said, one of the things when I was putting this into Photoshop that I thought it could be the glare of the photograph on the canvas. So if that is what it is that we are seeing, then you take this with a grain of salt. Okay.
Well, the colors are a little different in the photograph than they are in person.
Right.
Yeah. A little more transition, value difference in the face of that, larger dog.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Cute.
And I don't know. I can never photograph it. I mean, I've tried to photograph, paintings, and they never come out.
That's a really difficult thing to do.
What kind of camera do you use?
Well, my iPhone.
Well, there's one. So, Mitch Baird, he has a tendency to put a piece of white paper underneath the bottom of the painting so that the light bounces up into the painting and doesn't provide artificial light, but provides enough light that the painting reads more accurately. So it might be something that you try. Mitch does a lot of photographing of his work, and he gets some really great photos. And he also uses his iPhone. So, it's those little techniques that make a huge difference in the photography.
Probably the best photograph I've had was a tip actually from Mark Carter, was to have someone stand out in the sunlight, in a white top, and hold the painting, and you be in the shade and take the photograph. And that's the best photographs I've had. But it's been below zero a few times, or above here, so I haven't been able to do that.
Where are you at?
Well, Alabama, but northern Alabama, we've had single digits, during this time when I was doing this particular one. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the weather has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And how's the weather today?
It started out at 24 and ended up at 52.
Oh, right. That's
quite a range there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And tomorrow's going to be about the same, a little warmer.
Well, you don't want to be out at night.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go on over to Gail's other painting, which you're going to love.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
I know. Is this?
That's sweet.
I love the tilt of the head and the eyes. Those are just so precious, right?
His
And
upper ear is so translucent. You can see right through it. That's beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. And what kind of canvas are you using?
That's a linen.
Mm-hmm. And is it oil primed or is it acrylic primed?
It's acrylic primed, and then I did 3 coats of gesso, and then I stained it.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Beautiful.
It reads very nice. You did a good job on that.
Oh, it's so sweet.
I know. His nose really comes forward, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. His nose just really comes forward in a big way. Now, what's this little guy's name? What's his story?
This is Millie, and she's a Valentine's present.
Oh.
The painting is going to be a Valentine's present for a friend of mine's girlfriend.
Oh, that is so sweet. Millie is just such a precious girl.
And this is an 18 by 24, so she's pretty good size.
Good size too, yeah.
Bigger than life.
Oh, sweet.
And
I like the softness in his chest, her chest.
Her chest.
I like the softness that you allowed, you know, just that to be just really, it makes the face the entire focal point. Other than the little collar and the little tag there, that's just so sweet.
I know. I mean, you've just done, Gail, an incredible job on this painting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have to say, this is just really lovely. Love the background on this one as well. I mean, you know, this, you've got some complements going here. You've got the blue and the orangey kind of color that's going on in the doggy. So you've got some beautiful complements going. Really, really lovely. I love how you handled the tags. Really a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Really a good job. Love the collar, the detail that you've got here in the bones, but you've handled it in really a great way that just shows the recession of the turn of the collar. A really nice job. Really, really a nice job. Yeah. And what kind of doggy is she?
It's a red heeler.
Red heeler.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty, pretty, pretty.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So is this what you do, is that you are a portrait, a pet portrait painter?
Well, I've had a lot of people ask me to, you know, when they see one and, you know, kind of the word of mouth kind of thing. I just love portraits, and I've done some people portraits also.
Love to see
You
those.
have to get it right, you know,
Yeah.
or that person's not going to like the painting. So to me, that's the challenge. And I guess that's, you know, that's basically why I want to go down to Mark Carter, because he's, it's going to be a 6-day course with him, one-on-one.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't do group anymore. He used to do group workshops, and now it's like one-on-one if you want to do it.
Wow. Oh, that's
he
very
loves Sargent's paintings, and so he can teach you Sargent's way or his way or whatever. And so he's done 3 presidential portraits.
very cool.
The Bushes, and then I can't remember the other one he did for the White House. But I mean, I've looked at his work and I was really impressed with it. And so I just want to get better at this because I just love doing it.
Well, you got some really great stuff going.
You're already doing really well. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
This is really beautiful work, Gail.
Thank
Really
you.
beautiful work. I mean, I can't think of anything to say on little Millie here that, you know, and there's no reason.
I guess what I wanted to make sure I don't do, and it's always like, well, it looks like a photograph. And of course, that's kind of a compliment in one way, but I want it to also look like a painting, you know. So I try and mix it somehow. I mean, put some loose in there with the detail, which I love detail. So it's hard to get out of the detail for me.
Mm-hmm. So it depends on what kind of painting attracts you. For my own personal taste goes to classical realism. That's what I love the most. Give me a Michelangelo, Leonardo, before photography, you know, Botticelli, and I know that everyone that I'm saying is Italian right now, but you know that is what attracts my eye. You know, most artists are really attracted to the Impressionists. You know, they want the intense colors. They want the more abstract shapes that are in there. I happen to like I think that the first time that I went into a museum and I felt like I could reach behind the head of that painting, I was in love. I was absolutely in love. And so that is what attracts me. I want to feel like I can draw into that painting. It's more than photography. It is classical realism when you just feel that you can go in there, and then you get up close and you're going, oh my gosh, there's a brush stroke, you know? So it just, there's more and more to embrace for me. So, you know, what I'm seeing in your paintings, I say all of that to say that what I'm seeing in your paintings is more of a tendency towards classical realism. So, good job.
Well, thank you. I mean, I want to feel it, you know, and I want people to look at it and feel it. So
you struck gold. This right here, if I'm going to get really picky, this right here, this area in the corner of her eye might be a value or a half value to light. This area right here, because it takes away from the catch light in her eye right here. So it's arguing with this, but it might also be the photography as well. So take that with a grain of salt, but it just might be the corner of the eye just needs to be knocked back just a half a value.
Okay.
So I'm going to stop our screen share. You and Linda, and we had one here. I wonder if she is here, Estelle. Nope, and I'll wait for Estelle. I don't like to critique them without the artist being here because it just doesn't seem fair. But man, I'm telling you, you did awesome. Really, thank you, honest to goodness, Gail, for what you shared with us. You've got beautiful work.
Thank you guys.
Beautiful work. So when are you going to go study with Mark?
In March.
Well, that's just right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Wow. And where's he at?
He's in Austin, Texas.
Oh, so that's not but a couple of states away from you.
Yeah. Well, I have a place in Weatherford, Texas, which is still about 3.5 hours north of Austin. So I'm going to go there first, and we have a horse show right after I get done with the workshop back up in Fort Worth, Texas. So make a little roundabout.
There you go. What kind of horses do you have?
Petting horses.
Oh. So I used to have a cutter. His name, well, we renamed him Buck, but he was out of TriStar. He was out of TriStar, which was, a really high winning West Coast cutter. And the first time that I was on Buck's back, because I'm a horse girl, the first time that I was on Buck's back when we were out in, I got a girlfriend here.
Well, now I saw you drinking the morning, so.
Some red, give me some white. Woohoo. Yeah, cheers. The first time that I was on his back and we were out in Colorado and we came across some cows, and this horse starts doing his dance and I'm on his back. I'm just going, hold on, girl. Because we're going, I mean, he was ready to take those cows for a ride. It was fun. It was really
They're great. They're great.
Gail, do you paint your horses ever? Do you have portraits of the horses?
Yep.
Yeah, that must be great.
That's fun. And cows. I do a lot of cows.
Oh.
Cows are really interesting. I mean, they have a lot of personality.
Yes, absolutely.
So we have cows and calves, and they're having babies right now. So we got to photograph them, and so I get a lot of cute pictures.
Sweet.
So what kind of cows do you raise?
Well, there's Brayfords, which is a Brahma Hereford cross. Those are my favorites. They're just really pretty. like a tiger stripe with a bald face, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Angus, you know, Angus cross with a Brahma. So they're Brangus. They're not, I mean, they're just black cows. So they're not that pretty. I get some good pictures, but I like the ones with color on them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to raise longhorns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, love those. They're so majestic.
Yeah, I got some great cow pictures when I'm ready to start painting again, and
Oh, that'll be great.
yeah.
Gail, are you familiar with Phil Beck's work or Bill Size?
No.
SYS. They both also do cows and animals, but you might want to look them up. They're really beautiful artists. Wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'd love to.
Of animals. Just because I do the same thing when I see somebody that you know whose work I admire, I like to study their work. And
yeah.
I'm not familiar with Phil Beck, but Bill Size, you're gonna love his paintings, and his cows are just like, oh my gosh, he's prolific as well. He's a great painter.
How do you spell his last name?
SUYS. It's pronounced size, but it's SUYS.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll check him out.
So I think
Might be William. I know him personally, so it's Bill to me, but I don't know how he goes professionally. It might be William Size.
I think it might be William as well. Yeah, he is incredible. So go take a look at his work. And the way to remember his name, I think it was you, Kathleen, that told me that it's like buys, size, guys, you know, GUYS or BUYS, size, SUYS. So that might help you to remember it because the spelling of it is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Right, because I have a friend of mine who's Size, and it's SEIZ.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So Size, I was trying to figure out how to spell that. Yeah.
So if you think of guys and buys, and
Yeah.
that might help you a little bit.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because it just a little bit different, but yeah, he is he's in Michigan or Minnesota. Which one is?
Wisconsin. He's it's Bill in northern Illinois, or is he in Wisconsin? Southern Wisconsin. He's in Delavan.
Delafield, Wisconsin.
Delafield.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I know that he's one of those that goes into Dan Gerhardt's studio, like Kathleen and Chuck. They've gone into Dan Gerhardt's studio.
Chuck's not allowed. Chuck's only allowed in as a model.
Well, Chuck is a great model, though. Chuck has done some great modeling there, so that's all good. Yeah. So that makes a difference too. And I had an opportunity that the other day because somebody was looking at one of the interviews that I had done. It happened to be the one with Dan Gerhardt's. And, you know, I was just listening to Dan for a few minutes, you know, talking about what inspires him and how, and it was pretty doggone cool. It was pretty doggone cool.
He's a neat guy. He is a very cool guy.
Yes, yes.
Really, really down to earth and connected. His family is very important to him.
Yeah. It was, listening to him, it just, you know, made me think of a lot of people, you and Chuck being one of them, and Bill Sides actually being another one, because I know he's spent a bit of time there in Dan's studio, and it was making me think. It was one of those moments when I was going, man, I want to put together a series where I get to go into the studio of all these artists, you know? I mean, because the quality of the interview, the quality of the videography is just so taken to a next level kind of thing. I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong. I'm really grateful to have technology to be able to do any of these interviews, but to be able to go into the studio, that's the next level. That's what I'm shooting for. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, it's interesting because I've noticed that there are a number of artists this year who on Facebook, I'm friends with tons of artists, that are posting that they're in the process of building their new studio. Chuck, we need to do that soon.
Well, you guys just got your new studio there in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have a small studio that's attached to the house, but these people are building studios. They're huge and Yeah, John Poon's got his studio that he works in, and he's got like 18-foot ceilings, whoa, that's just like totally incredible. So yeah. Artist's dream. Well, if you're a professional and you're a full-time artist, you need your space.
Absolutely. High ceilings are really important too. How about you, Gail? What's your studio look like?
Well, I've got one here in Alabama, and then I've got one in Texas, which is, it's kind of like a makeshift one. It's got all kinds of other things in it. The one here is attached to my horse barn. So I did that kind of purposely so I could go out and, see my horses and work off live subjects if I want to. And so it's nice. And it's probably, I don't know, the ceilings are not 18 feet, but maybe 10.
Oh, nice.
Kind of pitched up a little high. A lot of windows, which now I've covered them up and made it darker inside for better lighting. So I've played around with all different scenarios with the lighting.
Nice. It's nice that you have that opportunity to just close off some window space to decide what light is best for your working experience there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm playing with, the natural light from the light bulbs, and then the natural light coming in. And so, I don't know.
Working under light bulbs still is really tough. I do it because we all have to, if we're really busy.
Yeah.
Good night, Linda. Thank you so much. I love what it is that you did. That palm tree is just like rocking, girl. So thank you so much for sharing it with us. That's beautiful work. And it seems like everybody came from the East Coast tonight, or, Southeast over there, Alabama and Tampa. So, you
it's
guys,
late there.
Yeah,
we're getting late.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 10 o'clock back there in your time. So, I really enjoyed it. It was like totally incredible to be able to have the quality of work that came across this time. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much for sharing this with us, Gail.
Thank you for letting us. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, hopefully I'll have my act together and I'll share something next time.
Yeah, I'd love to see you guys' work.
Absolutely. Kathleen does some incredible portraits, and she's done some incredible pet portraits. She's did a demo of a cat. I want to say it was just before Christmas. Maybe it was Thanksgiving. Seemed like some kind of holiday that you did that demo.
Yeah, I've been doing a number of things lately. I seem to get commissions just before Christmas, which you probably do too. But yeah, they're on my website if you want to take a peek. KathleenEatonArt.com.
Is it EATON?
Yeah, and Kathleen with a K, LEEN EATON, art.com. And it's click on the portraits, figuratives, and pets, and it'll open up to a number of the paintings that I've done in that.
Oh, cool.
We do plein air painting. Chuck and I go out and we participate in some of the plein air events too. So I'm a little scattered, but it's all good.
Yeah, and you got somebody to do it with. That's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is your husband a art appreciator, or is he an artist as well, Gail?
An engineer.
Engineer. Well, you know what? Artists need that though too. You know, we need that to help balance us out.
But sometimes he thinks I'm just playing. I'm not working.
Oh, most people do, don't they?
Yeah.
Yes. They don't
You
take
need
it.
to do your work first and then do your art.
That's right.
So we've had a few discussions about that.
Yeah. Just because, you know, the secret to life is to do what you love, and you never work a day in your life, right? So because you love painting does not mean that you are not working. It just
I
means,
can't understand that.
well, bring him
How
on.
can you sit there for hours and hours and hours? Well, because I just love doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
I'd love
Yeah,
to
I've been
see you
crazy.
again when you get back from the Mark Carter thing. I hope we stay connected, because I'll be curious to hear all about it.
Yeah, I'm anxious. It's, you know, I'm never done a workshop like I've said. And so it's a one-on-one, which, you know, I would have enjoyed probably having more people with me, actually. But this will be pretty intense.
Yeah,
So I'm either going to learn something or I'm not, you know.
that's a
Oh,
great
you're
opportunity.
learn lots.
Yeah, you always do learn something. Sometimes
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like it at the time, you know, like we're just so exhausted now. It took us 4 days to drive here with the dog, and we got here on Saturday night, had one day to do laundry and unpack, and then Monday we were at the school. So I'm kind of in a bit of a whirlwind, but all of the stuff, I took lots of notes and pictures and everything, and it will all come back to me. I'm just feeling it right now. Yeah.
Absolutely. No. And I am so appreciative, Gail, of your willingness to jump on here with us and talk with us.
Yeah.
It makes it so much more interesting when we have a cacophony of artists that are willing to input and share. So thank you so much for that.
Well, you're welcome. I'm a little bit shy about it because I'm not, you know, as experienced. So
As experienced as what?
as you all, I'm sure.
What it is that I'm seeing in your work does not show, you've got all the experience you need.
Yeah.
You're putting out some
Yeah.
incredible, beautiful work. So your
Well,
eye is well trained.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's not blowing smoke. I'm if you know, I can hem and haw with the best of them, and I'm not hemming and hawing. I am just really, you got to give credit where credit is due, and you are due. So
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
keep going. You're doing great. You're doing
Thank you.
great.
Yeah.
How long have you been painting?
It's 5 years now.
You've come a long way in 5 years.
Wow. 5 years. That's great.
So
Yes.
Dan Edmondson course was what I started with.
I'm familiar with Dan Edmondson. Yep.
Yeah. And I thought I was just fantastic, and, you know, found out I didn't know anything.
Oh. But you have to
So
go
I'm
in with
a
that
humble
confidence to at least have fun and experiment with it, right?
Oh yeah, and it was great, you know, and he did the webinars and critiqued a lot of people and learned a lot from listening to the critiques of other artists. Not my stuff as much, because you're always a little more defensive about your own stuff. And so you see other people's and getting critiqued, and you're thinking, well, I think it's pretty good. And he's saying, no, blah, 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 blah. So it was very interesting. And then the other interesting thing was a couple times things were submitted twice. And the first time he didn't like them, the second time he loved them. So you never know, you know.
Yeah, right.
Because art is subjective. Now, when I was in school in Italy, one of the things that I was really interested in was a drawing that I was doing. The student teacher came over and he says, you need to do this, this, and this. And, you know, he's drawing on my drawing, and I'm going, okay. I was really interested to see when the instructor came, you know, the head instructor, the very next day. And that was the area that he said, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And I didn't say a word. I just said, okay. And, you know, that made me know that it is a subjective form that is something that each of us see differently. There have to be some guidelines for which we are able to express and share the ideals, but the actual concept of beauty and beautiful art is really in the eye of the beholder. So, you know, take these critiques from anyone with a grain of salt, because there are some things that we share. Okay, this is what it is that I've been taught. This is what it is that I've experienced. These are the things that I'm attracted to. Where does your art fit on that scale, right? So, and I say this to absolute everyone, because if Linda wanted that palm frond to be the center of interest, she hit it, you know, and there's no right or wrong. I thought one thing, and what she thinks as the artist is a completely different. And she is the creator. She's right. You know, that's the bottom line. So when we are sharing these critiques, it's really important not to have your feelings hurt. I'm hoping that we share the critiques in a way that is inspiring and uplifting and helpful. But what you see, what your vision is, that is what trumps everything. You're the artist.
Yep. And I think that probably one of the most fun things are when you're done with a painting, I'm always curious to see what stands out to different people. Because what I think stands out never stands out to that other person.
Yeah,
So
isn't that funny?
I concentrate on one area. They're going to love this, and they pick out something completely different. Oh, I just love how the hair on the ear looks, or, and I'm like, you know, I thought you'd be looking at, you know. So it's almost like a treasure hunt at the end. Who's going to find their little treasure in this painting? What part of it are they going to like?
Yeah.
It's never ever the same, you know. So that's
I,
always fun.
Yes.
The thing that I like about art is that every time we revisit it, we find something else that we love, right? You know, you start out with one particular part that really calls to you, but the next time that you're looking at it, you're going, well, you know, I love this area over here. You know, how did she do that? Or, you know, what was done here that makes it so different? And, you know, those are the apples that are of my eye. It's every time that we revisit it that it becomes a deeper and fuller treasure chest. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I know that it's really late for everyone. I could sit here and talk for a very long time, you know.
You've got your red wine.
I do.
And I'm out of my white wine.
I could ditch y'all and go fill up my glass, but that's one of the things that I love about Art Talk, is that it is the night that I allow myself to have a glass of wine or two and, you know, talk about our favorite subject, art, you know, and really embrace what everybody is doing. And so much fun.
I need a refill.
Of course. Absolutely. I know Kathleen, as she was talking, she's got some health issues that prevent her from being right there beside us, because I know she's going,
I just said that in my workshop. I think the thing I miss, I'm on a very limited diet right now, Gail, and dealing with some allergies and other health issues, and that have sent me to the ER because my tongue and throat swell up. And so right now I have to be very careful what I eat and drink. And one of the things I miss most is my martini.
Oh.
I can't have any alcohol right now, and no grains, no dairy, no, I'm even allergic to lettuce.
Oh my.
Yeah. So it's not fun, but it is what it is. And someday I'll be back and I'll be sharing a glass of wine with you.
Well, I had that happen to me with an antibiotic, and so I was in there for 5 days.
Ooh.
And I was in pretty bad shape too. Everything swelled up like
Yeah, it's dangerous. Very dangerous.
Yeah, and so it's very scary.
Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it scares the what out of you, and it's something that you just go forward with a little more caution.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I hate to do this, Kathryn, but I'm on my last legs tonight.
I know. We're gonna shut it down, but I so appreciate it. You guys, they've been in workshop all day, and incredibly draining. So
I will love to share some work at a future artist day. I love to get that feedback, and I can take it with a grain of salt, because I've gotten enough feedback from different types of artists that I know, just like we've said here, it's a matter of opinion, and I may or may not agree with their opinion, and that's okay. But I like to hear their opinion because it's all helpful.
Yeah, it's something that bubbles up the next time you're in front of the canvas, okay, now what was said about this,
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that? I know that the longer I have the opportunity to be around fine artists, the more just soaks in, it's just like, okay, I'm in learning mode right now, everything is just coming in and saturating and settling down, and I look at everything with a completely different eye, okay, what about the design of this, what could have been done more to tweak this design, what would have made it stronger. And that's just my opinion, but it is that that look of design that I'm embracing. So Kathleen, I know that you're ready to go to sleep, so or at least kick back on the sofa, and
I'll probably pretty much go to bed.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for hosting it, Kathryn. It's always a joy, and we love doing this. So let's do it again soon, okay?
Absolutely, we'll do it next month. No, we're back on track until summer. We'll have 5 of these. We'll go until May, and then when June comes, everybody goes and does their own thing. So, we'll be done from June until September. September we'll be back, and we'll do these September and October, maybe November if I'm able to fit it in the beginning of the month. But there's I know our audience. We have a season that we're available, and that we're painting. So yeah. What's the doggy's name again, Gail?
Gemma.
So and I'm surprised that I forgot that, because a friend of mine who I went over to London to see put together this play, and the production was huge, and one of the stars of the play, her name was Gemma, and she did this song that goes off in my brain at the oddest times. Is "Don't feed the pigeons," you know. It's just a hysterical. Oh my God, the whole play is just really. She pops up behind the behind this place that you never think that you're going to see her, and she's got these big old wings on, and she's "Don't feed the pigeon," you know, it's talking about gum and papers and wrappers, and it's just so Gemma was the one that played to that particular character, so I don't know how I forgot Gemma's name. And little white dogs are just like my favorite in the whole wide world.
She's 5 pounds.
Oh, so
Well, I had a little Bichon. His name was Beauregard, and he was 9 pounds of Bichon, but he was 900 pounds of personality.
Yeah.
So I know them little dogs. They got big personalities. Huh, Gemma?
Yeah.
Huh, the girl. I just love to hold her right now.
Oh,
I need the puppy love.
She loves wine. She drinks wine with me every night.
Well, I need a partner like that. I can just feel her in my arms right now. Okay, everyone, I hate to do this, but Cindy, you have hung in there like a trooper with us. I wish that you had come on over to our side. If you're willing to, you can raise your hand and I'll stay longer. I know Kathleen and Chuck are going to ditch us, but you know.
Yes, we are.
But if you're willing, if you're brave, I'm just saying, I'm a diehard.
It's fun to see faces. It is a lot of fun to see the faces of the people that
Yeah.
It really is. I want to really, and I'm willing to do this until the cows come home, because you know, to get people comfortable with the technology, it's like I want people to feel like they're in the living room. You know, I mean, come on down and let's have a drink or not. I mean, if you're not comfortable with drinking, that's okay. But if you know, come on down, let's talk. Let's talk about our favorite subject. Everyone has an opinion, right? And Cindy ditched us. So I'm just saying. So I know my feelings are hurt officially. So. I know.
You'll get over it, Kathryn.
Well, not soon. I'm just saying. But I get it. I do. I totally. She might be on the East Coast. She might be in another part of the world, because you know,
that's right.
our audience is big and broad. So we do have some people who come on from other places that it's very early or very, very late. So, you know, all we are aware of is the time that we're in, right?
Yeah.
So I know Gail's ready to go get herself another glass of wine, and you and Chuck are ready to say, okay, Kathryn, pull the plug. Go ahead, woman, pull the plug. So I'm going to do it. I mean, oh my gosh. So I'm going to go get my other glass of wine. I still have one glass left, but I'm going to enjoy it. So
What a trooper.
Pardon me?
What a trooper.
I know. I'm good that way. When there's wine or tequila, you know how I am about my tequila. You know, I am a trooper. So yeah, wine or, you know, milder nights when I'm doing art talk, it seems far more sophisticated to do the wine. Tequila is for nights out dancing and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I'll enjoy one more glass of wine. I don't have to get up at Oh Dark 100 tomorrow. So that's a good thing. With critters, you know what Oh Dark 100 is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the truth.
Absolutely. Yeah, them critters, they get you up when they have to be let out. You know. Yeah. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed the quality of art this evening. It was really incredible. And
again for all you do, Kathryn.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Kathryn.
thank you.
and are you kidding? I mean, this is like fun. This is like, oh my gosh. So, okay, I'm telling on myself, okay? So, as I was getting ready for Art Talk, because it's been an incredible day in front of the computer. I've been working all day, right? So getting ready, I've not gotten ready until like 4 o'clock this afternoon, right? And when I got ready, I put on my pajama bottoms and a shirt on top. And I said, nobody's going to know. So
Does not matter one bit.
So I'm just telling you all on myself. So
I love that.
So that's what's even more fun about doing this, is because I have these little secrets that unless I share them with you, you're not going to know. So there we are. Oh, I have another secret too, but I'm not going to tell this one.
Kathryn, I have to go.
Okay. All right. Good night. Thank you.
I love you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Hey, yeah, I hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.